Programming the Naza H, take 2. In this video, I'm going to show how to program the Naza H and what it actually, the settings actually do. I've not found any videos yet that will actually explain it, so I'm going to try and do my best to explain it. If we go through the setup. They want us to unplug speed controller wire before we go into setup, but as long as you got throttle kill set, you'll be alright. And I do have a fan on my speed controller, so that's probably what you're hearing. Plug it up, open the programming, I was just in here a minute ago and set these gains for the autopilot. Make sure you can see the screen. Let's be able to see the screen and the swash plate. Let's start to make changes in the settings to it. Too bad. So these will be at 100 at default, and I think it tells you somewhere that's a good starting point, but it is not. I found that 73 on front and back, that's this way. 73 on left and right, that's this way. And 80 on vertical. If you get those too high, it'll do one of these or one of these, or who knows what it'll do. But it will definitely do those. And fly barless over here on aileron elevator, that is how much it will actually let it tilt when you're in a turn and when you bank. If you set these too low, you won't have any bank at all, and if you set them too high, you could bank yourself right over into a crash. So 135 and 145 is a good place to start there. And the cyclic rate, like I said, if you touch on those, it tells you on the what they do. I'm going to leave that at 180. And we're going to go into setup mode. And it says these connect the power to the motor. And since we have throttle hold on, we're fine. We want to start. Hit traditional receiver. Next, it wants you to calibrate your radio. Pick a switch to do your modes with. And since I don't have the GPS attached yet, it won't show up. But I will attach it later. And this is where you also set up the fail-safe mode. but I usually come back to that after I've set everything else up. Now this is stick calibration. As you can see, we're all over the place here, so hit start, work your sticks back and forth. Don't go to the ends hard, but make sure you do go to the ends. You can see that. We'll do it several times. And when you get done, you should be able to center your sticks, and everything should be center. Hit finish. There you go. There's Ron, elevator, rudder. And you should see channel U move with your mode switch. And you hit next. Now that's wanting to know where you have the flight controller mounted and which direction it is pointed. In this case, it is pointed toward the front, and it is mounted right in the center of the frame, which makes it 0. And if I had the GPS connected, it would pop a little box up here, down here, and want to know the measurements from the center of the flight controller to the center of the GPS, which this is the second build I have done using a multi-rotor GPS. $42 right here, eBay. I might have got the last one. I did see another one for 48, but it is the exact same thing as the GPS for the Naza H. They just don't tell you that because they want to charge you $180 for one. Okay? Well, kiss my butt. Next step. Which direction is the rotor turning? In this case, a line turns clockwise, and we have a fly barless setup. So we're on the next step. It wants to know what the swash plate is. We have a HR3, which is already selected. That's with your servos in that configuration. Okay. Now this is where we check and see if our pitch is moving in the right direction. It should be up is up, down is down. And that's properly. That is working correctly, I should say. Go back to mid-stick, hit next. Now it's wanting to trim your pitch. And it will tell you the steps over here to take to do this. And you can actually drag that with your arrow, and you can actually write it in down here. But if you write it in, you have to hit enter. Alright, go to the next step, which should be leveling the swash plate. No, not yet. This is where we set the direction. See if our swash plate is moving in the right direction. Left, right, forward, back. So, elevator is not moving correctly, so hit normal. Forward, back. Good. Swash ring limit. I like to set that at 65. Just to keep it from binding up. And this one over here is how much travel you have. And looking good at 50%. We'll come back to that in a little bit. This is where you set your pitch. That should be 6.5. But you have to have the head on for that. And we missed the Swashplate Leveling is right here. So you get your handy dandy little Swashplate Leveling tool. Sleep it out because it's a multi-purpose. Okay, now I'm going to move the camera a little, kind of get a better shot of the swash. Get too close, it'll get blurry. But in the programming, let's see, servo 1 and 2 and 3. Servo 1 is on the right, servo 2 is in the middle, servo 3 is on the left. So, and you can do the same on those as well. You can get a hold of the little pointer there and slide it, or you can write in a value. I like sliding it. But we need to bring number 1 and number 3 up. So I will put my arrow on the little pointer on the software, double click it, and drag it to the left, and then it's the wrong way, so we'll go back to the right, which is a positive number, and that looks good right there, which is positive 12, and you assume number 3 would want to go positive as well, but let's see. Yep, it wants to go negative. And negative 19. And this part I like to get my little jeweler's glasses and just make sure all 3 points are touching. Like I said, that's probably blurry for you. And number 1 needs to come up a tad. And so does number 3. They both still need to come up just a little bit. Don't move them much. 15 and minus 23. That's right on the money. Alright. Cool. Try to get it back here and you can see the programming out of the swatch plate. And if I overlook something, or if you have a question about something, don't hesitate to ask. That's how I learned this crap. Okay. We were just here a while ago. That's making sure everything is moving in the right direction. It is. So, Next is the pitch, where you set your pitch. And like I say, you gotta have the head on for that, and we'll come back to that. This is the where you choose your servo. And we have a digital 1520, 33 megahertz, 333. I'll get it right in a minute. And I know that my rudder is in the wrong direction now, so I will reverse. And when you stand in front of the helicopter and do your rudder, the slider should move right when you turn right and left when you turn left. So right, left, right, left. Okay, we're proper there. Now if I would have reversed it in the radio, which I could have, then it would have been wrong. The gyro would have been wrong. So that's why you do that. Now we're it's where they want to set your travel limit. And 100 is good on that. Now this is the part where you want the feedback. When you touch on the box here, it shows you which direction the swash plate should move, and this is for pitch, and it is saying positive and negative, and it is wrong. So we reverse that and hit it again, so it should go up and then down. Correct. Now this is forward and backwards, and that one is correct. Left and right, left, right, and this is your rudder. Left, right, finish, and be ready to go back to manual when you hit OK. And that's pretty much it. Put the head back on it and come back and set the pitch, and that'll be it. Be ready to rock and roll. Okay, got the head assembled. As you can see, I have a partial blade on for setting the pitch. You don't need a whole blade. Take one of your damaged blades, which I know a lot of people have, and just throw away, and cut it off just for this purpose. Well, I hope you see what I'm doing here. Always make sure that throttle holder's on. Always. Throttle stick, or pitch stick, whichever you want to call it. What we're adjusting is pitch, so we're going to call it the pitch stick. At mid stick. Alright. And I guess we need the digital pitch gauge, which they want you to zero that in on the helicopter somewhere. Put it right there, if I can get to it. Alright. And red stick, I have 0.6 degrees of positive. So we have to go into the setup. And we will go start. Next. 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 Alright. That should be, this one right here should be where we set our pitch. And we are at 7.5 at mid stick, so we need to, we're at 74 here, so we need to bring that down. $44. I need to go one more, but it's hard to get one. I went to 41, now I'm at -6. So let's go back just a little. 43. Still -3. Sometimes you have to go back up. Right back down here, we was at 44. And we're at 1. Actually, well, not 1, but to 0.01. I'm going to call that good. That mid stick. Now I go to next. Cyclic. Collective. And we're moving at 50% on our stick, so we got way too much positive. Yeah, 28. So we need to go to the next one right here and measure. They want us to have 6.5 and we had 12. So we'll bring this down to 6.5 if we can get it down there. Sometimes it don't want to go down there. There's 8.5. And we're down to 40 as far as it will go. Go back to normal. And we're at 0 there. So if we go back to here and increase this to 60. And then see what we got here. It's major. 7.7. So that made it even more. So I went the wrong way on the previous page there. So we'll go back, decrease this to 40. Oops. Not so fast, it says, not so fast. Alright. Now let's go. See what we've got. And we still have 7.8. Please skip the steps if you have a fly barless. Make sure the helicopter is level. Align the blades above the tail. Boom. Sticks should be at center position 0 degrees. Measure cyclic pitch using pitch gauge, which should be 0 if you click normal. Otherwise, use trim or mechanical adjustment to get 0. Click measure. Drag the cursor or write a value directly into the input box. Appropriate range is between 40 and 70. To obtain the required pitch angle, 6.5 degrees is recommended. I'm at 40, I can't get it any lower. I don't know what would happen if we were to bring this down even lower. So let's go down to 25 and see what it does. That gives us a reading right now. And bump the stick of negative 0.01. Now we're still at 7.8. I can't get it low enough. So I guess I would need to shorten the control rods. That done better on my pitch. Let's see what this does. .5. .8. Close enough. Negative. We're at 12.5. So that's almost perfect. 0 stick. .03 degrees to the positive at 0, which is fine. That's very doable. Check this again. 7.8. Normal. It's just right there. Perfect. So, tail is fine. Feedback. Now this is what we got to go back to mount. Sorry. And tell it where the GPS is. And adjacent with flight controller. So here's your tape measure, and you measure from the center shaft to the center of the disc, which I know you can't see, but I have already measured it, and it is 70. It is 69 centimeters from center, minus negative 69, and then hit right, and that tells the flight controller where the GPS is located on the helicopter. Now we can go to feedback and make sure everything's still moving in the right direction. Take the pitch gauge off. And I want you to switch to attitude or GPS mode on this. And I'm going to go back to mode just to make sure we have GPS, attitude, and we're backwards on that, so I need to, no, we're right, we're good. I'm backwards. Duh. Yeah. First box should be positive and then negative pitch. Positive, negative. Correct. Second one. Forward, backward. Correct. Left, right. Correct. Tail. Left, right. Correct. Hit finish. And then when you hit OK, be ready to switch the radio to manual so the flight controller doesn't freak out. It does not like to sit still in attitude mode. Alright. There we go. We should be ready to take her up for a test flight tomorrow. I love those line turbos, they are so smooth. They are 610s, by the way. Alright. So if you have any questions on how to program or anything I missed or flubbed up, please leave me a comment. Hit the like button if this helped, or dislike button, whichever you prefer. Happy flying.